Hey there everybody, it's Cosmo the Cody here and welcome to another review of the Humble Monthly Bundle. This month we're looking at August 2016's. As you may remember, last month was a bit lackluster, so we'll just have a look and see what we think of this month's bundle, which I have to say may be a bit disappointing for some people. Anyway, first up we've got The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing Final Cut. Now, this requires a little bit of an explanation, I think, just to sort of explain what this is and everything else. At the moment, it's $29.99 on Steam. It's basically an action-adventure RPG, similar to Diablo, if you ever play Diablo. If not, then it's basically a sort of dungeon crawler, hack and slash 'em up. Fairly good reviews, 68% recently, 71% overall on Steam. 79% on Metacritic, as you can see. Well, you can't actually see because the video is blocking it, but it's got some quite very positive reviews on Steam. Basically, there have been a number of games called The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing. In fact, if memory serves, there's 3 of them, 1, 2, and 3. The Final Cut basically takes all 3 games and sort of melds them into one, taking what most people believe to be the good parts of each one and sort of improving it and sort of blending it all into one full game. So, excuse me, bit of indigestion. So overall, it's a lot of people quite praise the game because it does improve upon issues that occurred within certain games. For instance, in the third one, apparently the leveling system was sort of simplified to the point of stupidity. This obviously now removes it and basically allows you to play with all these sort of extra bits that number 3 included, and lets you play through the entire game with those extras. It's kind of like if you took Mass Effect 1, 2 and 3 and sort of blended it together and removed all the sort of the Mako bits and changed the reload system and the ammo system from 1 and made it similar to 2 and then added a few of the extra bits they put in number 3. So it's kind of that sort of blend of game, I think. So overall, not a bad game at all. Now, Jackbox Party Pack 2. It's $18.99 on Steam. It's basically a casual local multiplayer sort of game where, well, actually it's 5 games apparently, where you get to play a sort of party games sort of system, sort of like Mario Party, but less games and not exactly themed in that way. Supposedly you can play with well, phones and tablets and everything, but I kind of didn't get the point of what it was trying to say or how that was sort of worked and anything else. But overall, it's basically a party game sort of system. Generally speaking, it doesn't appeal to me that much, but it's got some good reviews. It's 78% recently, 90% overall on Steam. Not really one for me, but a nice little sort of entertaining package, I think. Now, my pronunciation of this one's going to be interesting. I'm going to go with poi, just for the hell of it. Poi? That sounds like something a Cockney would order when he wants something from a restaurant. I'll have a chicken poi, please. And that's why I don't do accents. I'm rubbish at them. Anyway, poi is $10.99 on Steam. It's an early access 3D adventure platformer, which is sort of a throwback to the 90s era. So it's trying to sort of be like Mario 64 to some degree. Generally speaking, it's quite well reviewed. 88% recently, 93% overall. There's some complaints about control issues and some performance issues, but because it's still an early access game, it's potentially fixable. Basically, wait and see. But overall, the game itself appears to be fairly close to completion. But that's just from my reading of the reviews and the general sort of consensus in Steam. But we'll see. So it looks pretty good. It might have the same frustration as some of the 3D platforms that were in the 90s, but we'll see. Maybe. Next up, we have a game called Planet of the Eyes. It's $6.99 on Steam. It's essentially a 2D platformer where you play as a robot and exploring a mysterious world. Mysterious and a strange world. It's supposed to be extremely atmospheric. It's sort of one of those games that you need headphones for because you get sort of engrossed in the sort of the the themes, the story, the sounds, all that kind of stuff like that. It's basically a sort of survival game, as you can see from there. It's very similar to what was it called, Limbo. By the sort of feel of it, it sort of feels like one of those games that you have to be wary of traps, and it's going to be a sort of full of beginners traps. You walk over something, it kills you, you then jump over it, and then so on and so forth. It looks pretty good. It's quite extremely well received on Steam, not so much on Metacritic. It's 92% pretty much on Steam, and 66% on Metacritic. I'm not exactly sure why. Basically, it's the general sort of feeling is that it's a nice little game, but it has its issues in places, but nothing really important, nothing really sort of grand to report on in that regard. Right, Starwood Rogue. Starwood Rogue is from the same people who brought AI Wars, Last Federation. I think I'm going to go with Arson Media or something like that. But basically, the Starwood Rogue is a sort of an action-adventure RPG with a sort of bullet hell element added to it, where you basically it's sort of like games like Enter the Gungeon and sort of like what would happen if Hotline Miami was crossed with your favourite space bullet hell kind of game. Really, it's sort of that kind of element, and essentially you go through a dungeon or a labyrinth or whatever you would call it, and you try and rescue a robot called what was his name? Rodney. There you go, Rodney the robot. So it looks pretty impressive. I go with that. Overall, it's actually got some quite good reviews. It's 98% overall. It's been out for almost a year now, but it's actually on sale on Steam at the moment for $4.40. It's actually about 50% off. Actually, did I say how much Planet of the Ice was? It's $6.99 on Steam. Planet of the Ice is $6.99. If I didn't say it, I can't remember. So yeah, basically, Starwood Rogue is an interesting sort of bullet hell game. I'm sorry, I've got all muddled up now. Anyway, right, next up, the game that was dangled in front of us last month is the Call of Duty Black Ops 3 multiplayer starter pack. Now, I haven't got a video for this, because if you don't know what Call of Duty is, then I can't help you there. You know, it is what it is. But essentially, the starter pack gives you access to elements of multiplayer. It doesn't give you full access. It gives you access to the public ranked multiplayer matches, gives you the weapon shop, the gunsmith arena, the free run theatre, whatever those are, the black market basically. It also includes a sort of voucher. Now, at the moment, what this voucher basically does is that it gives you the ability to purchase the full game for a discounted price. And I think if I do this, no, hang on, there we go. There we go. I can change it over. So this is actually what my humble page looks right now. And basically, what you get is two options. You can basically get the starter pack full game upgrade for what at the moment is £9.37. You can get the multiplayer starter pack digital deluxe upgrade, which basically the digital deluxe includes the season pass, whereas the first one doesn't. Now, price-wise, this is not too bad. It's basically £9.37 for the pack to upgrade to the full game, and about £41.5 for the full one with all the season upgrades. So you get all the zombie maps and all the other things like that. But this is time limited. It's time limited to 5 days. And I've just realised you guys can see my Steam key for Poi. Don't bother using it. I've used it. It's done. Anyway. Right now, as I was saying, it's time limited for 5 days, which is basically till Friday, this Friday coming up. But if you're watching this weekend and do have it, don't buy it. At least before you check Steam. Steam is doing a sale right now on Black Ops 3. And as I move over here, you can get, you go to this is the actual starter pack that you get. If you click on the upgrade to full game, you'll notice it's cheaper. Not by much, granted, but it's cheaper. So if you have Humble Monthly and you want to thinking about upgrading, the Black Ops 3, do it here first, or check here first, just before you do it, because yeah, okay, it only saves you a bit of money, but a bit of money is a bit of money, you know? Now, overall, other than that, I can say that this is not a well-received Call of Duty game. It's basically around 50% on Steam. So, overall, you're not getting, you know, Call of Duty games, from my point of view, have been going steadily downhill. And I certainly have no interest in it. Even with the discount, I'm not interested. You know, I will not be using the key at all, because, you know, regardless of what it is, you know, I prefer narrative to my games. Call of Duty, I sort of stopped playing after Modern Warfare 3 because I wanted to finish the storyline with Captain Price and all that. I'm not interested in this at all, really. So, anyway. And for some reason, this is all slowed down. I don't know why. Oh no. Stop playing around. Alright, I'm going to continue. I'm hoping my webcam fixes itself, but if not, then I'm going to be sort of jumping around. I'll tell you what I'll do. I will... Hang on. There you go. I'll close these down. Let's do that. No, that's not going to fix it. Arse. Oh well, anyway. Making its humble monthly debut is a game called Random Access Murder. What number were we on? 5 was that one, 6 is that one. Oh, I didn't actually do a video for that one, did I? There's last month's video. Random Access Murder is 169 on Steam. Let me just mute the sound. I just realised it's still playing. It's 169 on Steam. It's basically a first-person 3D action shooter where you play a robot trying to basically fight other robots using a variety of guns, which cause glitches or errors in the actual gameplay. And rather than sort of hit points, you get memory, and the more you get hit, the more memory you lose. Hence, random access memory. The bad news is that this game is extremely badly received. It's only got 28% on Steam. It's not great. Let's put it that way. Not great at all. And finally then, the Humble Original is essentially another sort of bullet hell game, I suppose is probably the best sort of description. It's a game where you basically run around little rooms with lots of traps and dangerous devices, and you have to basically escape as best you can from these things. It's again, it sort of seems a bit silly when you've already got another bullet hell / trap / room escape kind of game in the bundle, but you know, it is what it is. It is, you know, this disc room is, well, it's not really a big sort of impressive thing on this bundle, to be honest with you. And that's pretty much the bundle. Now, next month they are dangling Soma in front of us. If you haven't done anything about Soma, it's by the same people who made oh no, it's gone in my head. Oh, it'll come to me. Oh, I had it in my head as well. Come on, what was in my head? This is not a good day. Anyway, it's a survival horror sort of esque game, and Amnesia. That was it. Got it. Amnesia. Survival horror sort of game made by the same people who made Amnesia. It's less horror, more and less fear, more sort of tension and atmospheric, similar to sort of Alien Isolation. There are monsters in it, and there's a whole sort of, you know, where you got to sneak around and do things, but there's more of a sort of story-based thought to it. It's definitely, I've seen the playthrough of it. I haven't played it myself, but it's definitely an interesting kind of game. And despite the fact that I'm still jumping around crazy for some reason, I might have to actually just turn my webcam off. Can I just refresh my webcam? No, that's not going to work either. I'm going to have to just stop recording this. Alright, well, a score for this bundle. I hate to say this, but this is pretty lackluster. Pretty much the same as last month. It doesn't. There's nothing sort of big standout. I mean, Van Helsing I've heard a lot about. You know, I know about the Van Helsing games, and it's been something I've considered playing at some point. Similar to sort of veins of Torchlight and Diablo. The Jackbox I'm not really interested in, mainly because the only people I would have to be able to play these games with locally would be the wife or the kids. Not really something like that. Poi looks nice, but it's not going to be something I'm going to pick up straight away. Plan to the Eyes, again, is something I might try out at some point. Same with Starwood Rogue, but Call of Duty will just skip that one, and I'm not even going to bother with RAM. So essentially, this is an extremely lackluster kind of game, and I hate to say it, I'm only going to give it like 3 out of 10. To be honest with you, it's not that good of a bundle, really. It's not that much of a impressive bundle. Now, no, that's not to say the games are not any good, because I can't review the games, I haven't played them. But it's not something I'm going to say, ooh, let's run off and play this game immediately. Which is disappointing. But here's hoping that next month is a lot better. Now, before I'll do the end credits here again now. I'm still jumping around, rubbish. Next month's review may be late, as July's was, because I'm going away the weekend that the bundle come out on. Well, the bundle after the weekend after the Friday that the bundle comes out, which should be, and it counts the 2nd of September. Mainly because it's my birthday around that sort of time, and I have to go out. I'm going to go and celebrate it. But otherwise, I will see you next month for another Humble Bundle review, or monthly bundle review. Sorry, I'm gonna get that right. So, thanks for watching, guys. As always, like and subscribe. I'm sorry my webcam has, well, I'm assuming it has frozen, because gone all haywire, and frames are cocked up, because what I'm seeing in OBS is jumping around. So we'll have to see on the flip side of that. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think, and I shall see you next time for either some gameplay or another review. Till next time, bye bye.